The United Nations has confirmed what aid agencies have been warning for months. Gaza is facing a famine. Families are going days without food, children are malnourished, and medical workers say they're seeing deaths from starvation.
Yet food stacks up at borders because of systematic obstruction by Israel. It is a famine within a few hundred meters of food in a fertile land. It is a famine that hits the most vulnerable first, each with a name, each with a story, that strips people of dignity before it strips them of life.
Famine isn't just a political word, it's a technical designation. Experts look at three primary factors: whether families have food, how malnourished children actually are, and how many people are dying each day.
It points to something widespread going on in a population, and it's going on in Gaza right now. When you don't have enough to eat, your body first uses up its stores, right? So we all have about 3 days worth of sugar that we store, and we all have about several months worth of fat that we store. And then the body has to continue to find sustenance from within. So it starts eating its muscle. So it starts, even further depleting any kind of fat. The vulnerability continues to get more and more, and then eventually the person will pass away.
Those conditions are now a grim reality in Gaza. Aid is blocked or delayed, infrastructure has been destroyed, and both the blockade imposed by Israel and the actions of Hamas have worsened the crisis. One voice weighing in on how the public is processing news of the war is Sharon Carr, principal at Navigator.
Definitely, and I think that we've seen the tides shift a little bit in terms of public sentiment. We're seeing a time when there is a war with a lot of social media. So people are filming on their phones. You can go on platforms like Instagram or TikTok, and you will see endless videos of people in Gaza who are filming what it actually looks like, what's happening to their family members, how the food distribution is working out. And I think that is what is part of what is swaying people's perspective, because it's really easy to look at the media, which the media is trying to do their best to showcase it, but when Israel is preventing anyone from getting into Gaza, journalists are not allowed in there. It's kind of hard to rely on mainstream media. Mainstream media is now relying on social media videos. And I think what's really important, the dialogue amongst pro-Netanyahu and pro-Israeli supporters, is that we have to separate the difference between Hamas and civilians here. And I think it's okay to call out Hamas every single day. We should be denouncing October 7th, but it's also okay to have sympathy and look at the shoes some of these people are in, that it is catastrophic. We've seen Israeli cabinet ministers on the record stating that they want the complete destruction. There's nothing left in Gaza. There's absolutely nothing left. So I think that is what is resonating with people.
Meanwhile, Israel maintains it allows aid to enter Gaza, while Hamas is accused of diverting resources and embedding fighters in civilian areas. Both factors have left civilians trapped in the middle of a man-made famine. Foreign policy analyst Harley Lippman says aid must reach civilians, but that the security concerns of Israel cannot be ignored.
When you see images of poor Palestinians starving or being killed, it is horrible. It is terrible. No innocent people should be killed. I have compassion for Palestinians. I think what's happening, it's terrible. But it's the result of Hamas. Even the Arab League has said that Hamas should disarm, and are blaming them. But to your question, I think, I make an example. I hope you don't mind a quick history lesson. But if CNN was around during the Civil War and was at Gettysburg, I don't think the North would continue fighting the Civil War, and we may still have slavery in the South. When you see this kind of carnage and this kind of death, it makes you angry, and it makes you hate Israel and Jews. I get it. I can see why.
The debate over responsibility is further complicated by the rhetoric used in media and online discussions. Here again is Sharon Carr.
It's a really hard one. I've seen this happen a lot. I've been labeled things myself by people because I've shown sympathy towards civilians. I've lived in the Middle East. I understand the dynamics. They're very different. I think what I find really problematic is we have people here in Canada who have hijacked the cause of what's happening in the Middle East. You've got these activists who are apparently fighting for the freedom of those in Gaza, but they're not doing so in a manner that is allowing for a conducive conversation. They're going to Jewish schools, Jewish businesses, which is actually leading to anti-Semitism. But now, broadly speaking, and this is not the entire Jewish community, but there are significant factions of it that the second you disagree with Israel or Netanyahu, not the Jewish population, if you disagree with the government and what they're doing, you're immediately labeled anti-Semitic. And I think that's quite destructive to what real anti-Semitism is.
The human toll is immediate. Children are suffering from malnutrition. Families are rationing whatever food they can find, boiling weeds or drinking unsafe water. Aid agencies warn that without sustained access, the famine could expand to the rest of Gaza in a matter of just weeks. Even when aid trucks are allowed through, they're often too few and too late. Temporary solutions like international supply piers have failed to meet demand. Experts say only a reliable, secure, and continuous flow of food, water, and medicine will prevent more deaths. Analysts stress, though, that this is a man-made crisis. Israel's security measures, Hamas's control over resources, and the breakdown of basic infrastructure have combined to create the conditions for famine. And while Israel, Hamas, and international actors debate responsibility, the people with the least power to change anything are the ones paying the highest price. For now, Wyatt Sharp, The News Forum.